Honey, when a man's been saucering for 40 years, don't try to make him change his ways. Isn't that right, Ben?
Well, Maggie, every man has his habits.
Not only men, women do, too.
Maggie, you starting some kind of habit?
Well, she ain't starting one. She's got it. The, spinster habit.
Maggie, you seem to have forgotten the cream. Would you be a good girl? Get in the kitchen.
Oh, yes, Mr. Cartwright.
What's the matter with you, Tuck?
Hmm?
If brains were dynamite, you couldn't blow your nose.
Now, what are you talking about?
What am I talking about? The way you're talking to Maggie, the things you say to her, the way you make her feel.
Well, what would you have me say? That she's a beauty? That 100 fellows are after courting her? Ben, Maggie's a plain woman. You know that. So does little Joe here. Isn't that right, Joe?
No, I would say that.
But how come in all the years you've known her, you never once asked her to a social?
Well, it just happened to work out that way, that's all.
I suppose you think that's a nice thing to say, but that kind of thinking ain't gonna help Maggie. Now, let's face it, she ain't got a man now, and she's not likely to have one. I swear, if I could find someone that'd have Maggie, I'd give him my spread right now.
Come on, I want to go take a look at those horses, huh?
Yeah, I expect it's a good idea.
Thank you.
Maggie, go get your shawl.
Yes, Pa.
Tuck, Jared has some pretty good horses. We got 5 mares a couple of days ago. As a matter of fact, I think he's got just about the best string of horses this part of the country.
See you later, Pa.
Goodbye, Mr. Cartwright.
Oh, Ben, you're real lucky to have had all boys. Well, thanks for the coffee.
You know Mr. Dowling here, of course.
Oh, sure. Jared and I know each other. He used to be over at our place all the time, mooning over Maggie. Remember that, honey? Yeah, you two were really sweet on each other, weren't you?
Well, that was a long time ago. Well, Maggie?
Hello, Jared.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Are them the horses you got to sell?
Yeah. Yeah, those are the ones.
Little Joe, what do you think?
Well, let me get a closer look at them.
Well, this place is getting a little run down, isn't it, Jared?
Yeah, well, I'm here by myself, you know. I'm not much of one for appearances.
Oh, I know how it is. You know, it sure is tough when your missus passes on. I know. Oh, I know. Felt that way when my Betsy went. It really isn't right for a man to be alone. You know, a man starts thinking of all sorts of things, like home cooking. You ever miss home cooking, Jared?
Yeah, I guess I'm not very good at pots and pans, that's for sure.
Well, I know just what you mean. You know what you ought to do? You ought to stop over our place some night. Why, my Maggie, she can do wonders in the kitchen. And she's very good at sewing, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my, yes, she can sew. Now, take a look at this blouse and skirt that she's wearing now. Well, never in my life have I seen a blouse and skirt that looked more store-bought than this. But it isn't. No, sir, Maggie did all of this all by herself, didn't you, honey? And it just cheap cotton, none of this alpaca fancy stuff for Maggie.
Yeah, well, I can see it, Mr. Dowling.
Come on, just touch that. It's only cotton. Now, a woman who can sew that good, not to mention cooking, well, she can save a man an awful lot of...
Hey, Mr. Dowling. Come on out here and take a look.
Oh, yeah. I guess I better get over there.
Got some good-looking animals.
You sure picked the winner, Maggie. Just about the best horse on the place.
Sure is beautiful.
Oh, no, not that. Strong, maybe, or handsome, but beautiful, that's a word for women. Still, there ain't many females that can spot a good horse like this one, so if you want to call him beautiful, you just go right ahead.
You're beautiful. What's his name?
Stupid?
Huh?
Well, that wasn't his name to start with, but he was so darned ornery at first that I just kept calling him Stupid, and the name stuck, and he answers to it ever since.
Jared. They're fine-looking animals. Why don't you come over tonight and we can talk about it? And maybe Maggie can fix you one of her specials like I was telling you about. I tell you, it's just what the doctor ordered. Do you a world of good.
Well, why can't we settle up right now?
Joe, would you take me for a ride, please?
Sure enough. Mr. Dowling, Maggie and I are going to take a little ride while you and Jared settle up. Mind if we borrow your horse?
No, go ahead, Joe.
Well, Maggie, why don't you stay around here for a little while? Then maybe you and Jared can...
No, Paul, I want to go for a ride. I'll meet you back at the house.
If you like that horse, I'll buy it for you.
Oh, that horse isn't for sale, Mr. Dowling. Would you like to go in and settle up now?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's pretty, isn't it?
It sure is. Be prettier in your hair.
I'm afraid I couldn't stand the competition.
Come on, now you're talking silly.
You know, back there at Jared's, he said that beautiful is a woman's word, but he's wrong. It doesn't apply to all women. I'm plain, Joe. I'm the kind of girl that pretty girls like as their best friend. No, don't say anything. I'm not fishing for any compliments. It's just the way Papa carries on so sometimes. Sometimes I just needed a friend to talk to. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Even my name. It's Maggie. Not Margaret, you know. It's Maggie. It says right there on my birth certificate, Maggie. That's very dashing, sir.
Well, I still think it'd be prettier in your hair.
No, I think I'm gonna walk home, Joe. It's not very far. Would you take my horse back?
Whatever you want.
Thank you for everything.
Where's Maggie?
She was close to home. She decided to walk.
Oh. Thanks for bringing the horse, little Joe, but you could have dropped him off at Dowling's place. He's one of the bunch I sold to him.
Oh, I thought you weren't going to sell this one.
Well, he made me such a good offer. Well, you know, keep the wolves away for a little while.
Makes you that rough, huh?
Yeah. Just doesn't mean much anymore. Keeping the place up. They're gone.
Gosh, you know, Jared, you're not doing yourself any good just staying out here alone all the time. We never see you in town anymore. You know, Maggie and I were talking about it.
Now, look, little Joe. Don't you start in on me. Tuck's been doing the same thing. Maggie this and Maggie that.
Jared, I wasn't going to start in on you about anything.
I know what you're going to say. She's a real nice girl. Even if she were interested in me, I'm in no position to get married.
Look, I wasn't going to say anything about getting married.
Look, there's one grave out in that back pasture. And there's never going to be another one.
Jared, won't you come in?
I just put Stupid in the stable.
I want to thank you, Jared, so very much for letting Paul buy that horse for me.
There's one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yes?
You don't have any mice in that stable, do you?
Beg pardon?
Well, he's scared of mice.
Oh, no. No, we don't have any mice.
Well, I guess I better be going.
Would you like a cup of coffee? There's some hot. And Pa's upstairs taking a nap.
What's that got to do with me having a cup of coffee?
Nothing. I just mentioned it, that's all. Go ahead. Sit down.
Well, maybe half a cup.
Okay. What are you taking it, Jared?
Oh, just black.
Hope it's not too strong. Been on the stove for a little while.
Oh, it's just fine.
How do you know? You haven't tasted it yet.
Yeah, that's just fine. Yeah.
You know...
You go.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you know, most women just don't know how to make a good cup of coffee.
Thank you.
My wife used to make it real good. Well, this is real good, too. Now, what were you going to say?
I was just thinking about the church picnic that we went to.
Yeah, that was the 4th of July.
That just seemed like yesterday. To me, at least.
That was a long time ago. I might be a poor man, Maggie, but... I got no business sitting around drinking coffee when there's chores to do. I'm much obliged to you.
I'm sorry you have to leave so soon, Jared.
So am I. That's the way it's got to be.
Thank you, Maggie. And my sweet tooth, thank you. Be back in a little while.
Where are you going, Pa?
Well, I'm just going out to Jared's on, talk some business.
What kind of business?
Well, he had a couple of mares. I could have bought them before, but I thought I'd let him stew a little while. Then I'd see if he could let them go at a more reasonable price. Well, you know your old Pa's way of doing business.
Oh, Pa. You're going to go out there and try to talk him into courting me. Now, why don't you admit it?
Maggie, you just tell me this. You want to get married?
Yes.
You like Jared?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go over and talk about those mares. See you later, girl. Jared, I know mourning is right and proper, but a man can overdo it. Your wife's been dead for over 2 years now. Of course, if you're bound and determined to let this place run into the ground, I don't guess nobody could stop you or would want to. Where you're going out, it's going to happen. Selling your stock, neglecting this place. Ed Sykes was saying that they were being mighty lenient down at the bank about you being behind $600 in your payments.
How about you minding your own business, Tuck Dowling?
This is my business. I suppose I was to say to you, Jared, I'm paying off that note. Now, what would you say to that?
Well, I'd say you were crazy. Or else it was some kind of a trick.
Well, I'm not crazy, and it's no trick.
What's in it for you, Tuck? You know, even before Martha died, this wasn't that good a spread. You're just wasting your money.
I'm not talking about money. But money can solve the problem.
Well, what problem?
Two lonely people who want to listen to another heartbeat beside their own. You and Maggie. The only thing stopping you from taking a wife is money, am I right? I know that. Maggie knows that. We talked it over between us. Besides, there's nothing dishonorable about taking a loan from a father-in-law.
Does Maggie know about this?
Yeah, we talked it over, we did. We're having a small party, Jared. Give you and Maggie a chance to talk it over. Good night. Thank you, folks. Now, come on, gather around. I got a very special announcement to make. Now, some of you are wondering, how come the fiddlers? How come the grub and the drinks? Well, I told my Maggie I was doing it because it seemed to me that we need a little more sociality here at the Dowling house. But that's only a part of it. Got a surprise for you. Got a surprise for Maggie. Comes to that. Jared Wilson, you come out here. Come on, Jared. Jared Wilson comes to my house the other day, and like the honorable man that he is, he comes straight out and asks me for the hand of my Maggie in holy matrimony. I hated to lose her, but I couldn't say no to Jared, so I gave my consent. Folks, you'll be glad to hear that the ceremony will be performed...
No, Paul. He hasn't even asked me yet.
Maggie, don't make your old Pa look like a fool.
Make you look like... Oh, he hasn't even asked me yet.
Maggie, I went to a great deal of trouble to do this. I spent $600 to pay for his mortgage. Now, what did I do wrong? Why is she so mad?
Where are you going, little Joe?
Got some punch. I'll be back in a minute.
He tried to sell me like I was a cow. What does he think I am? Haven't I got any feelings? Oh, I wish I were dead. I'm so lonely.
Maggie. Maggie. Maggie, you're not homely.
Joe, I am. Everyone says I am.
Who says you are?
Pa. Pa says so. All the kids I went to school with. Don't tease me, Joe. You're the only friend I have in the world.
Now, look, you listen to me. I'm not teasing you. I'm just trying to make you see the truth.
I do see it. That's the trouble. One of the girls' father would be so anxious to get rid of her that he'd pay a man to take her off his hands. Huh? Nobody wants me, Joe. I know that. I'm not blind.
Well, I think you're blind. I think you're blind. I think your father's blind. I think everybody in this town is blind. Maggie, you can be pretty, but you have to try.
Oh, Joe. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll be pretty.
Good morning, honey. How you feeling this morning?
How do you expect me to feel, Pa?
Oh, Maggie, about last night.
Look, Pa, I don't want to talk about it.
All right, you don't want to talk about it, but I do. I've got to. Maggie, now, what happened last night, it's because, look, for a woman, there are certain things that are purely natural. And one of them is having a man attend for her and raising a family. I remember how your mama looked after she had you. She was a woman coming to bloom. As lovely as anything God ever dreamed of. And that's what I want for you. Don't you see that?
Yes, I understand all that, Pa. But there's just one thing I don't quite understand.
Well, what's that, honey? Just ask me.
Well, you planning on selling me by how tall I am or by the pound? Look, Pa, I'm leaving here now. I'm going over to the Cartwrights. And I'm going to ask Mr. Cartwright if he'll recommend me for the school teaching job over at Liston Wells. And, Paul, I don't want to live here anymore.
Just don't understand that Tucker at all. Not for a minute. He still doesn't understand what we did wrong. Can't figure out why Maggie ran out.
I'd like to tell him, Warren.
Oh, what good did that do? I tried to tell him the other day.
What you're trying to say is I ought to stay out of it, right?
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
No, but that's what you're thinking. And you're probably right. Just that Maggie's such a nice person.
Of course she's a nice person. She's a wonderful person. Oh, and I suppose... Well, Tuck isn't bad. He's looking out for Maggie.
Oh, come on, Pa. He's not looking out for Maggie. He's looking out for himself. Worried about his own peace of mind, not hers.
Oh. I better get to work.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, saddle up my horse, will you? Howdy.
Hello, Mr. Cartwright. Good morning, Joe.
Well, what brings you out this way?
Well, I've been wondering, are they still looking for a school teacher over at Liston Wells?
Yeah, well, as far as I know, they are. Mag, they don't pay too well.
Well, I'd like to apply for the job, Mr. Cartwright, and it doesn't much matter what the pay is.
Oh, well, I suppose I could write a letter to Frank Pearsall for you. He sort of runs things over there.
I certainly would appreciate it.
Well, why don't I write it right now while you're here?
Oh, I'd be mighty grateful. And then I could drive over this afternoon.
Fine. I'll go in and write the letter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cartwright.
You really want to leave, huh?
I've made up my mind, Joe. At least I'll be useful teaching school.
Yeah, and you've got yourself convinced that's what you want.
I have very little pride left, Joe. And leave me a little bit, will you?
What I'm trying to say, Maggie, is there are other men besides Jared.
But not for me.
And how do you know that?
Because I know. I can't just sit around and wait for something to happen that is never going to happen. And I don't want anything like last night to ever happen again.
Maggie, will you stop feeling sorry for yourself just once?
I am not feeling sorry for myself.
Oh, yes, you are. Look, if you want the hard rock facts, Maggie, you are not married because you don't want to be. You just want to sit around and wait for somebody to come along and say, I love you, Maggie, I want to marry you. And in the meantime, they're passing you by, not because you're homely, but because they don't see you.
What choice have I got? What else can I do?
Well, you can stop being the wilting violet, for one thing. Go out and find the man you want and let him know it. Look, we're friends, aren't we, Maggie?
You know we are, Joe.
All right, then forget Jared. He's a weakling, or he never would have gone along with your father in the first place. Forget him, he's not worth it.
Don't say that, Joe Cartwright. Jared may have his faults, but he is not a weakling. And I refuse to allow anyone, even you, to run him down in my hearing.
Well, it's going to be pretty tough to hear anything about him from Liston School. You found the man you want, Maggie. Make him see you. Go after him, Maggie. Go after him.
Joe.
Oh, good morning, Jared.
Morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Jared.
I didn't know you were here. I come on business. I'm here to see you or your pa, little Joe. You know them horses you bought off me?
Yeah, what about him?
Well, I don't buy them back. If you or your pa let me.
Gee, your hair looks pretty now like that.
Well, you can't run a ranch without stock, can you?
Oh, no, I suppose you can't.
I finally decided to fix my place up and get it back to where it was. Well, maybe even better than it was.
Hey, that sounds terrific, Jared. Send it, Maggie.
Jared?
Morning, sir.
Here's your letter, Maggie.
I'm afraid I won't be needing it now, Mr. Cartwright.
Huh?
But I do apologize for putting you to so much trouble.
No trouble, Maggie. It's just, well, aren't you interested?
Hey, Pa, Jared here wants to buy those horses back again.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir. I figure I need them more than I do the money.
Oh. Well, sure, of course. You can have them. Matter of fact, they're in the corral. Joe hasn't even had a chance to work on them yet.
I'm figuring on building my place back up.
Hmm?
I'm figuring on building my place back up.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a good idea. Well, I'll get a couple of fellows to help you.
I'll be expecting you for supper now, Joe, at 7:30.
Oh, don't worry. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And don't forget, we have a date to go riding tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Oh, good luck with the place, Jared.
Yeah.
That?
Well, Maggie, I thought you were going...
Well, did you take everything I said seriously? Did you?
Well, you sure sounded serious.
Paul, you know something? You don't know the first thing about women. Well, now you go over there and sit down, and I'm going to clean everything up because we are having a guest for supper.
Who's coming to supper?
Little Joe Cartwright.
Oh. Oh?
Riding by Jared's ranch.
Oh, are we?
You know we are.
Hey, Jared, see you at the dance tonight.
Oh, I had a wonderful time, little Joe.
Well, so did I.
Never danced so much in all my life.
But you were the best dancer on the floor. And the prettiest.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Hello, Paul. Paul, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Oh, it's nothing. For a minute there, you were the image of your mother, God rest her soul. You're out kind of late.
Mm-hmm. I had a wonderful time, Paul. We just danced and danced, and it was just glorious.
Glorious, huh? Has that Cartwright boy proposed to you yet?
Oh, no, Paul.
He hasn't, huh?
No.
I'm beginning to wonder about his intentions.
Joe Cartwright is a gentleman. He's a fine and decent man. He's my friend. And he's fun to be with. And I don't care what his intentions are.
Well, you may not care, young lady, but I'm your father and I care plenty.
Well, at least you don't have to buy him to make him pay attention to me.
That's exactly what bothers me. He's a rich, handsome lad. He can have any girl in the territory at the bat of an eye. What's he doing paying court to a homely thing like you? Answer me that.
Not homely, Paul.
Maggie.
Why do you hate me? What have I ever done to make you hate me, Paul?
I don't hate you, girl. I just want to do my duty as your father.
My father. All my life, you made me feel ashamed, Paul. You made me feel like something that should be, swept underneath the rug. Why don't you leave me alone, Paul? Why don't you let me live my own life?
You really think young Cartwright's courting you seriously?
Yes, I do.
Well, I'll be hanged. Afternoon, Cosmo.
Oh, howdy, Tuck.
Well, you're a long way from your place. I heard tell how you're starting to spruce it up again. Can't do much sprucing from the back end of a saloon.
Well, a man can't work all the time now, can he?
Yeah, that's a fact. Cosmo Bottle. Me, I'm doing a little private celebrating. You heard the news about my Maggie. What I mean is her turning you down and little Joe comes courting her. I gotta keep pinching myself. I never thought Maggie would catch herself a Cartwright. Between you, me, and the bar rail, I just can't quite figure out little Joe. Can you? It ain't as though he couldn't get something better for himself.
Now you get one thing straight, Duck Dowling. No man in this territory could do better than Miss Maggie. And if you weren't her pa, I'd teach you a lesson.
You're going to be at the Ponderosa Saturday? They're having a big party for Maggie. I thought sure you'd be invited.
Bob, let me know as soon as those supplies come in, will you?
I sure will.
Right. Hey, wait a minute. You got any perfume?
Just got a shipment in.
Bring me a couple of bottles, will you?
Right.
Thank you. Hey, Jared, just a man I want to see.
That a fact.
Yeah, see, I wanted to give one of these to Maggie.
What are they?
A perfume. Perfume for the party tonight. You know, it's kind of a special occasion.
Yeah, why? Why is it so special?
Well, parties are special, aren't they?
Well, if you say so.
Now, look, take a little sniff of this. This one's called Blue Lilac. Nice, huh?
Yeah, nice.
Now, wait till you get a load of this one. This is the one, I think.
Now, what's that called?
Surrender. Huh? Good, huh? Oh, which one do you think?
Maggie ain't the kind of gal that wears perfume.
Oh, come on now, Jared. Any woman's the kind of woman to wear perfume. Hey, now, look, you're invited to the party tonight.
Thanks.
I think I'll go with the Surrender.
Never thought she'd catch herself a card ride. Big party for Maggie. Well, I thought they'd invite you. Big party for Maggie.
Hair smells really good, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's the matter?
Nothing. I was just wondering what time it's getting to be.
Oh. He'll be here.
You really think so, Joe?
I know so.
Oh, but maybe you're wrong.
But, Maggie, if you would have seen him in town today, you wouldn't say that.
Oh, maybe it was all a mistake, Joe.
Don't tell me wilting violets are in season again.
No. No, they're not.
Oh, Ben. You're missing some good punch inside.
Oh, I ain't missing a thing.
And Maggie sure looks beautiful tonight, doesn't she?
Oh, she sure does. Hey, when's a good time to make the announcement? June's a good time, don't you think?
Well, I'm not quite sure what you mean, Tuck. What announcement?
The marriage. Maggie and Joe.
Well, Joe hasn't said anything to me, huh?
Well, Joe's shy.
Yeah?
Well, it don't make sense you being the reluctant one. The father of the bride's got to pay.
You know, you are the sweetest and dearest friend that a girl ever had. And if I were to...
He's here.
What's he doing?
Well, he's just kind of sitting there staring.
Hey, look there. What's he doing here?
Well, he was invited by little Joe.
Don't young folks have any sense anymore?
I can't believe it. Now what's he doing?
Still staring. He looks madder than a wet hen.
He does? Oh. Oh.
Maggie!
Hi, Jared.
Oh, Joey.
He just got out the wagon. Here he comes. Oh, just relax, just relax.
Oh, Maggie, that perfume is just beautiful. That's surrender.
You're right. I've known you for a long time. But I never thought you'd stoop to anything so low.
What are you talking about?
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Jared, didn't I invite you to the party?
That's not what I mean.
Jared!
Stay out of this. You've had this coming for a long time.
Jared! You stop it. Now you stop it. Jared, you're
Go ahead and say it. I don't care what you call me. I'm not going to stand by and let Joe Cartwright court the woman I love.
You love.
Well, if you'd give me half a chance, I'd told you before. And you, if you'd kept your big nose out of it, none of this would have happened. Maggie, I never accepted any money from your pa. Oh, sure, he offered it to me, but I never took it. Maggie. Got it. Well, you gonna let me take you home or not? Now make up your mind.
Oh, I'd be proud to have you take me home, Jared Wilson.
I'm sorry, little Joe. Guess I kind of lost my temper.
Well, looks like the best man won.
Understand it. I never thought Maggie would be the kind of woman a men would fight over.
Yeah. If you stopped talking so much, it would have happened a long time ago.
Boy, have I been hanged. Hey, wait till I tell everyone about this development.
Joseph? Let me buy you a punch.
I'll drink to that.